Look how miraculously they are made. The facial structure, ears, where they're placed, one higher, the other one lower. Being able to hear something skittering underneath the snow and be able to pick it out of that totally white landscape and land exactly on it to feed itself. Nature always, always, always astounds me with its synchronicities, with its perfection, with its complexities, with its simplicities, all at the same time. I think about some of the things that are in some of the big fish, and some will swim on top of other fish, and they're eating stuff off the flesh of that fish, and they're feeding themselves, and this other fish is getting protected. There are a lot of things that work like that. We've got dust and other things that come from the air that come all the way from the other side of the planet, from a storm that comes here to feed the earth here in this area. Things are happening like that all the time. Nature is just so wonderfully made. And that's why Psalm 139 is one of my favorite. I praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. We have to realize that we are a part of that natural world, and we are as miraculously made as that gray owl, if not more. If not more, and that's exactly what that scripture in Matthew said earlier. Consider the lilies of the field, how that they are made. Why would I not clothe you? And so much more, with everything that you need. If a flower doesn't have to toil and spin, why would you? We are so miraculous. So if the gray owl has everything it needs to feed itself, to take care of itself, to be in the world, to be in the immense cold, and still not just survive, but to thrive, then how are we equipped to thrive in the world? How are we equipped? We need to recognize, to remember that we are miraculous because we are of God. I believe that with my heart and soul. And I invite you to recognize it, to embrace it, to hold it always. Always, always, always. I spent so much of my life thinking I wasn't enough. Thinking that I lacked something, I didn't have something somebody else had. I didn't look like somebody else, whatever it was, wasn't the right size, I don't know. Didn't have the right smarts, didn't have the right skills, didn't drive the right car, wasn't the right age, didn't have the right parents. Some of us are still suffering from that. Some of us are still suffering from that.
That's right. I got to pick my kid.
But at some point, if we're really doing our work, that's why I love Unity Principles, because it talks about the practicality of spirituality. And by following those principles, by affirming that God is in and through all things, including me, that I too am of love. That I too am divine. And that was a news flash for me, considering all the stuff I said about myself growing up, all the bad things I thought about myself, all the times I kicked myself. I should be black and blue from head to toe, as much as I have kicked myself in my life. I should have permanent bruising from all of that. And I've finally gotten to a place in my life where I no longer kick myself. I might raise a foot and get ready to kick. But usually I stop myself before I land with the kick because I remember that I am love. I remember I'm love. Even in the midst of whatever ditch I have just driven something into. Especially when I am in the midst of something I wish I had done better, I wish I had said better, I wish I had not said it all. Especially when you're in the midst of that. It's time to remember who and what you are. Because it'll help you heal whatever it is that made you raise your foot to kick yourself in the first place. And then you'll raise that foot less often. Maybe when I'm in my 70s or 80s, I'll no longer lift that foot. Hopefully way before then. Very simply, friends, we are miraculous. Miraculous. Walking, talking, thinking, loving, miracles. Because that's what God is. Even if you're still in the place where you are thinking of yourself as a child of God and maybe separate from God, because everybody's in a different place in the journey about our understanding of God, and it's fine to be where you are. Be where you are and be comfortable with that, be at peace with that, and live from that. Live from that, because it's a journey, this understanding of God. Mine has evolved over decades to get where I am now. And it's okay where you are, but live from that understanding. So if you understand that your goodness is an inheritance because you're a child of God, that's wonderful. Because when I first realized that and sat and tried to embrace that, it reduced me to tears. When I finally let myself feel that, not just say it and say, oh, I'm a child of God. Because you can just say it, and it's up here in your head, and it's a rational thought. You heard it, somebody said it, you've heard it again and again. You say, I'm a child of God, I'm a child of God, I'm a child of God. Is different from sitting, perhaps in meditation, and feeling that you're a child of God. Because I think if you really feel it, you stop thinking. There's no more discussion in the head. And this heart of yours opens up. And for me, when my heart opens, the tears roll. I always know I hit a truth when the tears roll. I always have plenty to say until a truth hits, and then I'm speechless. And all there is a breath. And I go, oh, I am a child of God. That's different than rationalizing I'm a child of God. When you know you've truly forgiven yourself for everything that you need to forgive yourself for, you'll feel it here. When you've truly gotten there, when you truly know that in the moment you did the best you could with whatever you had at that moment, and you're at peace with that, then you've truly forgiven yourself. And all of your shame, all of your rancor, all of your disappointment, all of those things that you're feeling about yourself, all of those judgments about yourself have just fallen away. And all you feel for yourself in that moment is love. Just love. Just love. Not that smarty pants, bless your heart kind of love. But truly, a bless my heart love. Yeah. We have to talk about this often because it's a journey, this loving ourselves. It's a journey. Some of us have a lot of stuff to let go of. We've got to let go things that came from our families of origin. We may have to let go of things that came from friends, other relatives, people in our lives, people we've been in partnership with, whether it's a business partnership, a love partnership. I have friends who have broken my heart in two. So much so that I grieved it like a death. I've been betrayed by friends. And I've had to let go of that. And it's been a journey to love myself through that and to love them also. To love them also. When you can get to where you can love them also, you're truly at forgiveness. Many of you were here when I had that moment and I uttered the name of the man who sexually assaulted me as a child, and I prayed for him, mentioned his name in this room. And I stood here and cried with you. Many of you were here for that. I'm in my mid-60s. It happened 60 years ago. That's a long journey. I skipped the middle word. Thank you. But it can be done. And it doesn't matter if it takes 60 years. Take 60 years if it takes 60 years. And let your heart be open. Doesn't matter what's happened. It can be forgiven, you can let it go, and you can be free of it. That's why that song, Freedom by Pharrell Williams, is one of my favorites. Absolute favorites. There's a freedom that comes with accepting yourself as love. And when you get to accepting yourself as love, you have more love than you could ever give out to the world. And we have a world sorely in need of love right now. But we're not going to be able to give the world what it needs until we give ourselves what we need. Until you can look at yourself in the mirror. I've talked about this before. You know that it made me roll my eyes the first number of times I heard about standing in the mirror and saying, I love you. That was about the silliest thing I'd ever heard of. Yeah, baby. I'm not doing that. I'm the best at the eye-rolling thing. And I rolled my eyes about that from the first time I heard it, all the way up until about a couple of months ago. I know, I confess all my stuff up here. But I want you to know what this journey is like sometimes. I want you to know the truth. It's okay that it takes time. It's okay if it's hard. It is hard. It is hard. I had some stuff I had to forgive myself for. I did. And it's hard to come face to face with your stuff, isn't it? That's why most of us don't go there. Because we know it, but we want to dig it down somewhere in the dirt and leave it there. We don't want to think about it, but it's still there. My family was famous for shoving stuff under the rug until there's these big humps in the rug, and all we did was dance around the humps in the rug. We don't see them. We don't see them. We're tripping over them, bumping into them, because, we hide stuff for decades. Those bumps under the rug get higher and higher. Pretty soon, there's no more rug. And you just got stuff that you haven't dealt with. But, growing up, my family believed if we don't have to see it, it doesn't exist. Yeah, okay. No, that's not true. And so as an adult, when I got steeped in my spirituality, then I knew I got to deal with the stuff under the rug. Whip the rug off the stuff and look at it no matter how hard it is. And it is hard. It's ugly. You don't want to relive it. You don't want to think of those circumstances you were in again. You don't want to think about it. I didn't. But what you resist persists. What you resist persists. And you can't run from yourself. You'll keep bumping into that stuff all through life until you face it and heal it. But you got to look at it first. But look at it with love. Look at it with love. That's what I had to learn, to look at it with love. Because as long as I looked at it with judgment, I was just kicking and kicking and kicking myself some more. That has no value for you or anybody else. So look at the stuff with love. Let yourself cry. Let yourself feel whatever it is you got to feel. Let it run through your system and forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. Look at yourself fully with eyes of love. And if you have to say it aloud, over and over and over again till you get it, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. Thank those parts of yourself that stumbled through life for getting you here. Because the part of you that was stumbling through life survived. Even if it was just white-knuckling it. I've white-knuckled so much of my life until I got tired of white-knuckling it. And Unity Principles helped me discover ways to live that I can just open my hands, let go, unclench my fist, breathe in, know myself as love, be in prayer and meditation. That's why many of us don't meditate, because when we sit and get quiet, our stuff shows up. That's why we don't get quiet. Whenever I'm avoiding meditation, I know there's something I don't want to look at. Because as soon as I get quiet, either the tears start rolling or all the stuff I've been avoiding is, it's closer than right before my eyes. I start feeling that stuff. I'm like, I don't want to do this. I do. I told you. I call them my spiritual tantrums. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. No. It's a journey, folks. It's a journey. But eventually, I sit my 3-year-old self down, and I stop complaining, and I stop having the tantrum, and I get quiet, and I let myself be in the quiet, and I let Spirit bring to me whatever it is that needs to be brought to me in that moment so I can heal. So I can heal. And so in those times, in those quiet times, I hear exactly what I need to hear from Spirit. I've heard things like, you are a winner. Some of you know that story. There was this time when I was watching that section of the movie Secretariat when he's running the Belmont, and he wins by 31 lengths. Record that still hasn't been broken after all these decades. And for some reason, when I watched that movie, I wept. When I got to that last 6 minutes of the movie, I'm weeping. I don't ride horses. Like, I don't have horses. I don't know about horses. I think they're beautiful and everything, but why am I crying at a horse movie? Like, what's going on? But something made me watch that movie every single day. The last 6 minutes of that movie, I would fast forward to that last 6 minutes and watch that and weep every single day. And then finally, I said, what is up with this movie? I'm like in meditation. What's going on? Like, what's with the horse thing? I don't get it. And Spirit said, you are a winner. I still feel it. You are a winner. You are a winner. From a horse movie. You are a winner. Another time I was doing a moving meditation. I learned in this, it's a Korean discipline I learned many years ago, and I need to go back to it because it really is. I've been at my healthiest, mind, body, spirit, and heart when I was doing that program. And I was going through this moving meditation, which is really very hard physically, but at some point it makes you disconnect from your body and go to your mental and your spiritual side and let that move your body through the meditation. And it's something you have to repeat 108 times. And always when I got to number 85, I would hear, I've always been here through everything, and I always will be. I've always been here. That healed the parts of me that felt abandoned in my pain. Probably when I was being sexually assaulted as a child. I can't imagine. Well, I can. Wish I didn't. I don't so much anymore because that's healing. But you think of the pain of that child. That helped me heal that part. That trauma for me was healed through that meditation. Knowing that I was never alone. Never alone. Never alone. How many of you need to know that you were never, ever alone? We all have something where we felt abandoned by our loved ones, by life, whatever it is. And you need to know you were never alone. God was with you in those moments. God was in the pain with you. You need to know that. That's what knowing yourself as God, from being of God, all of that comes from that belief, from that knowingness of who and what you are, so that when life starts to kick again, you go to that. That's where you default to. And it doesn't matter what's happening. It doesn't matter what's happening. You are still of God and of love. And it's all good no matter what's happening. It's all good. It's all good no matter what's happening. You are good. And no matter what it is that you need in that moment, you have. That's what your light is, this light of mine. The light gives you that. Love gives you that. God has given you that. God has made you that. So it's so much more than what you have. It is what you are. That's why we're doing this 100 Days Meditation Challenge. So we started on Easter Sunday, April 20, and it goes through July 29. But it doesn't matter that you didn't start on April 20. You can start today. Get in the silence. Get in the quiet. Know who you are. Come face to face with God. Come heart to heart with God. Be still and know that I am God. Bar none, my favorite scripture. It trumps all the other ones. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am God. That's why I say it over and over and over to you. Be still and know that I am God. Life kicks up. Be still and know that I am God. Chaos hits. Be still and know that I am God. You watching the news? Be still and know I am God. Traffic. Be still and know that I am God. Dealing with coworkers. Be still. Know that I am God. Stuff dusting up with your families. Be still and know I am God. The doctor calls. Got concerning news. Be still and know that I am God. Your heart gets broken. Be still and know that I am God. Bank account's not looking good. Be still and know that I am God. Tornado watch. Be still and know that I am God. Election season. When is it not election season? Be still and know that I am God. Sometimes even when our good shows up, be still and know that I am God. How many of us are still afraid of good? Still afraid to open our arms wide. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am God. Prayer meditation. Come face to face with God. Come face to face with yourself. Know that you are miraculously made. You're so much more than the great gray owl. Everything that miraculous bird has been given to survive and live in this world, you have been given so much more. So much more. Look at these brains of ours. I know sometimes our heads hurt because we got all this stuff going on in our heads. Think of how miraculous your brain is. And there are billions of things you're not even aware of that are going on in your brain. Thank God for that, right? I'm tired of the 6,000 things that are going through my head. If I knew about the billions going on in my brain, I would really implode. Think of all the things that are going through our bodies right now, all these processes that are happening all the time that you don't have to think about, that enable us to do what we do even as we neglect our bodies. Even as we neglect our bodies. That's how miraculous we are. That's how miraculous we are. I invite you to be still and know that there is God. God is in and through all things, and you are included in that. Know yourself as divine. Everything that is on your path, you are wonderfully equipped to handle. Know that. Say it out loud if you need to. I often do. When stuff stops me in my tracks, I have to say out loud, I have everything I need to handle what's in front of me. And I say it until I believe it. And then I get still, and I wait for Spirit to inspire me and let me know what the next step is. You don't need the next 10 steps. Get the first step. Do the one step, and then go for the second step and the third step. And I've said before, and I'll say it again, sometimes all you need to do is get still, and it makes everything better. Because once you get still and you get in fully into feeling that God is in and through everything that you are dealing with at the moment, it frees you from worry, from concern, from fear. And then the thing becomes no thing. Nothing. And you just move forward the way you know to move forward. The way your divine self knows to move forward in that moment. That is freedom. That is freedom. That's what he was singing about. That's what he was singing about. That's why even if you don't understand every line he's singing, that you feel what he's singing. You're miraculous. Even if it's hard to take in, I invite you to crack open the door, to be willing to look at that as you, and let Spirit do the rest of the work. Spirit only needs you to crack the door, and it can flood what you need through the crack, and then blow the doors off of it. Let's take this into meditation. So be still and know that you are God. Be still. So I invite you to think, where and how have you judged yourself less than? Is it from circumstances of birth? Something said by a parent, something done by a parent, or whoever raised you? Perhaps it's from someone who broke your heart, a teacher, a mentor, someone you considered a friend. Maybe you were terminated from a job. Maybe it's something physical. Some judgment you have about your body, your health. Maybe you think because you're of a certain age that you're less than you were when you were younger. Are you feeling unworthy of love or abundance? Maybe good things happen for others, but you think it's not here for you. Maybe something you've perpetrated in life, you think you're not worthy of goodness, or you're being punished. In unity philosophy, there is no punishing God. There is only love. A God of infinite, unconditional love. And you are that love. A miraculous being, so unique. There's no one else anywhere in this universe that is exactly like you. No one else imbued with the very gifts that you have. You are so fearfully and wonderfully made. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. And hear the words of Psalm 139. O Lord, you have examined my heart and know everything about me. You know when I sit or stand. When far away, you know my every thought. You chart the path ahead of me and tell me where to stop and rest. Every moment, you know where I am. You know what I'm going to say before I even say it. You both precede and follow me and place your hand of blessing on my head. This is too glorious, too wonderful to believe. I can never be lost to your spirit. I can never get away from my God. If I go up to heaven, you are there. If I go down to the place of the dead, you are there. If I ride the morning winds to the farthest oceans, even there your hand will guide me. Your strength will support me. If I try to hide in the darkness, the night becomes light around me. For even darkness cannot hide from God. To you, the night shines as bright as day. Darkness and light are both alike to you. You made all the delicate inner parts of my body and knit them together in my mother's womb. Thank you for making me so wonderfully complex. It is amazing to think about. Your workmanship is marvelous, and how well I know it. I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. invite you to say in your heart of hearts, I am light and I am love. I am light and I am love. For God is light and love, and I am of God. I am light and I am love. For God is light and love, and I am of God. And this light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. This light, I'm going to let it shine. I am light and love. For God is light and love, and I am of God. Let's take a deep breath in, breathing in light and love, breathing out light and love. I am light and love. I breathe it in, I breathe it out, for light and love is infinite and eternal. My spirit is infinite and eternal. I am light and love. And so it is, and so it shall be. Amen.